today? My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for taking a second and checking out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to make Instapot barbecue ribs. Now, those of you familiar with my channel know that my main focus is barbecue, smoking, sous vide. I love being outside with the smoker, kettle grill, you name it, and smoking some food. But you know what? I'm going to give you a backstory here. My wife, Monica, and my two kids, Kyle and Ava Grace, went with her up to the local mountains. She's meeting her sister up there, who lives pretty far away, so they don't get together that often, with her two kids. So it's kind of becoming a yearly tradition. They did it last year. They get away for a few days. They rent a cabin up in the local mountains. My kids get to play around in the snow, because where we live, it doesn't snow. And they bake cookies, and they watch Christmas movies, and they crochet, and they do all kinds of fun sister and cousin kind of stuff. Not my scene, so I decided to stay home. But when I was at the store buying food, I thought, man, ribs are on sale. I'd love to make a rack of ribs, but I thought, man, I don't really want to go through the hassle of cooking it outside. You know, part of the enjoyment for me, cooking and smoking, is seeing the reaction from family and friends when they try the end product. And of course, you know, it's good for your ego when they say, man, these are the best ribs I ever tried. But you know what? I'm going to take an easy, simplistic route today, and I'm sure there's some of you out there, maybe you got 2 feet of snow outside. The prospect of standing out there, fighting the wind, trying to make some ribs on the smoker or grill is a little bit too intimidating. And you're like, man, I wish I could cook a decent rib, but don't have to go outside and smoke it. So that's my experiment here. I've never used the Instapot for making barbecue back ribs, which is what I'm going to be making today. But it's going to be a very simple recipe. You can see I got 1 slab of baby back ribs. I have some apple juice. I have some rib rub. This is Famous Dave's rib rub. I'm going to add around a teaspoon of liquid smoke. That's optional. Little cheating there, but you know what? I like the smoky flavor. I'm hoping it's going to give it a little bit of a good taste. And then your favorite barbecue sauce. I got Chris and Pitt's. It's a local sauce out here in Southern California that I really like. You know, will these ribs be as good as if I did it the traditional way, 2.5, 3.5 hours out on my smoker or hanging them in my pit barrel? I don't think so. But are these ribs going to be a nice alternative that cooks in less than an hour from start to finish, that are pretty decent? You know what? That's what we're going to find out. So stick around. I'm going to show you how we do this step by step. Let's get cooking. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is basically apply the rub of your choice to your ribs. If you're in a pinch, you don't have any pre-packaged rub, you can make a basic one with just salt and pepper. You add a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of chili powder if you want. There's a lot of recipes online, but like I said, the whole point of this here for me is simplistic and easy. So I picked up 3 or 4 items at the store and I'm done. So what I'm using again is this rib rub from Famous Dave's. You know, it's pre-packaged. I don't have to do anything. They say it's also great on pork chops. So all I'm going to do is, you know how it works, you know, very simple, very easy. We're going to apply a nice coating of this rub on both sides. Now I already went ahead and removed that membrane on the back side of the ribs. I've probably demonstrated it 5 or 6 different times, so if you need to know how that works, check out my channel for one of my other rib videos. Okay, and now we're going to apply it on the back. You know how it is, very simplistic. And I'm going to let this sit for a second while I get the Instapot going. I mean, this is about as easy as you can imagine making ribs. I guess the only easier way I would guess would be maybe doing them in the slow cooker, but that's a little bit more time consuming. You know, that takes 5-6 hours at a minimum. And then there's a couple different steps where you have to take them out and remove the liquid and add some barbecue sauce. So that's it. You want to make sure you get a good dose on there because that's going to add the flavor. I'm just going to put a light sprinkling on top again. Some of it rubs off. There we go. I'm gonna go set these aside. I'll get the Instapot warmed up. I'll show you what we put in, and I'll show you the next step in just a second. All right, so here we are. These have been sitting for a few minutes. Just kind of let that rub, the salt and everything kind of soak in. Perfectly okay to let it sit on the counter. Now your Instapot should come with this thing. I don't know what they call it, a divot, whatever it is. You want to use that little basket. But first we're going to put the liquid in. We're going to put 3/4 of a cup of regular old water, okay? And then we're going to put 3/4 of a cup of apple juice. So we have 1.5 cups total. Now if you don't have apple juice, use 1.5 cups of water, okay? This is just going to hopefully give it a little bit more flavor. Now, the last thing, which is optional, 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke. You don't have to use this. You know, there's always a big controversy over people liking liquid smoke or not. You know, I prefer the real smoke, but you know what? I have had things with liquid smoke, and as long as you don't go overboard with it, because it is pretty powerful, it does add, in certain cases, a nice flavor to it. So, all right, so we put that little thing down, and now this is really easy. You can cut the ribs into sections. You probably would have to if you were doing more than one slab. But I'm going to keep the slab all together, and I'm just going to bend it kind of in a big U shape with the meaty side facing the outside. So just like this. And then I'm just going to bend it like that. I mean, look how easy that is. Okay. All right, I just wanted to show you how it looks in there. You can see the liquid on the bottom. The ribs aren't sitting in the liquid. They're kind of just right up to the bottom edge. And then you just put the ribs in a big U shape. If you had 2 slabs, you might have to cut them in 4 or 5 rib sections. All right, so that's pretty much it. You're going to put the lid on it. Whoops. Close it. You're going to make sure that the vent is fully sealed on the top. Normal high, right? Let's see. Okay, normal high. And we're going to go for 23 minutes. And that's it. Where's my start button here? Where is my start button? You know what? My wife is the one that's up. I guess it starts automatically. You see, I'm learning new things every day. Okay, there you go. It's probably going to take 4 or 5 minutes to build up pressure, and then once it hits that pressure, it'll start at 23 minutes and count down. And then once it hits 0, it's going to beep. We're just going to let it naturally release for around 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we'll open that valve, let all the steam out, and then I'm just going to finish them in the oven. Broil. I'm going to brush some sauce on them. Broil them for 3 or 4 minutes on each side, and I'm done. Look at how fast that is. So yeah, I'm going to go have a beer. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, while I'm waiting for those ribs to cook and that Instapot to start cooking, actually, still building pressure, time for a beverage review. Moose Drool Brown Ale, Big Sky Brewing Company out of Missoula, Montana. I know nothing of this. I saw it at one of my favorite liquor stores down here in Newport Beach, High Times. They have such a great selection. I thought Moose Drool, I like the name, so that's why I'm trying it today. All right, I have to admit, 23 minutes. Let it sit for 15 and then finish it off. Once it beeps 15 minutes left to go, just to let it naturally release, I'm going to turn the oven on, broil 450, 500, get the oven nice and hot, so we'll be able to kind of caramelize that barbecue sauce when we pour it on top. All right, let's see what Moose Drool is all about. It's a brown ale, that's for sure. I like brown ales. I've been doing so many IPAs. This is kind of a nice change of pace. All right. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching my video. I really do. Cheers. Thank you so much. Okay. One thing that's different from brown ales versus IPAs, you smell more of a malty presence. You don't smell as much hops. It smells malty, but it's very light. Again, cheers, guys. Wow, that's good. Very malty, kind of a little bit like a toffee kind of flavor. It's kind of got a little bit of a thickness to it. Oh, but it's good. I don't think it says what the alcohol content is. Oh, 5.2% alcohol. It says on the very bottom. Big Brewski or BrewSkyBrew.com. You know what? That's pretty cool. I'll give them credit for the name. It's pretty tasty. Certainly tasty right now. So I'm going to enjoy this here for the next 40 minutes or so, however long. When this starts counting down, 23 minutes, 15 minutes, let it natural steam. We'll release it and into the oven. We'll be eating within the hour. Until then, cheers, guys. See you in a little bit. All right, guys. It just beat. It's been 1 minute since it's the timer hit 0. So there you go. I'm going to let it go for another 15 minutes to naturally release, and then I'll let out the remaining steam. In the meantime, I'm going to turn my oven on around 450, 500. If you got a convection feature, you know, with the fan inside, turn that on as well. I'll meet you guys back here in around 14 minutes. All right, welcome back. It just clicked to 15 minutes. So now I'm going to release the top here very carefully. It's going to take a couple minutes to release all that steam. And then I got a foil lined pan here. We're going to lay those ribs out. We're going to slather it with some sauce and into the oven for a few minutes. Quick and easy. Probably going to take a minute or two. We'll be right back in a second. Alright, took a couple minutes. It is not releasing any more steam, so I think we're safe. I'm going to back up because obviously there's still steam. I want you guys to see how they look. Oh my goodness, I can see some bone. Okay, they look like they're definitely cooked. Let me wait for that steam to dissipate a little bit, because the lens of the camera is going to fog up real fast. Whew. Alright, here you go. I just lifted this, this piece out, so I got it in one piece. You can see how they're perfectly curved. I'd probably recommend doing that if you can, just to prevent the ribs from falling apart. But let me see if I can just gently lay them flat again. Oh, they are very, very tender. Hopefully not too tender, but boy, oh boy. Oh man, okay. Yeah, they are done. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply a layer of barbecue sauce on both sides here, and then into the oven to broil. I'll do this side first, just because I don't want to try to flip it right now until I have to. Oh man, it smells good. Looks good. Let me see. Gotta get the sides. Alright. Wow. Alright, I'm going to broil them for a few minutes on this side, then I'm going to try to carefully flip them over. Easier said than done, but into the oven they go. Alright, there you go. Woo. It's hot. Man, they're looking good. They're still holding together. I mean, they could easily tear, but alright. Just use your favorite sauce. Caramelize this on top. Oh man, can't believe I'm having ribs tonight. And you know what? These look good, I have to say. I wasn't quite sure. 23 minutes, man. 15 minutes steaming. Let me show you guys. This thing's hot, so let me put on my... What do you guys think, man? Look at that. They're not looking too shabby for, ribs that I cooked in 23 minutes. There we go. All right, into the oven. Give it another few minutes. I think we're done. All right, guys, here they are. Look at this, man. Woohoo! For ribs that I cooked like this in less than an hour. I mean, come on. I mean, they're not as good as if I hung them in my pit barrel or put, you know, 2.5, 3 hours worth of smoke on them. But you know what? What if you live in an apartment? What if it's 20 below zero outside, 60-mile-an-hour winds? You can still make some ribs. Look at this. All right, I'm gonna slice a few off here. We'll give them a taste test. All right, moment of truth here. I pulled one of these out. Man, it looks good. Okay, it's probably gonna break up into a million pieces when I... Oh wow, that's good. Mmm. That does fall off the bone. And you gotta bite it, but you won't have any problems. As that will demonstrate. Wow. Okay. You know, as with everything else, you have to look at the big picture. Are these the best ribs I ever had? No, obviously not. Do they have a smoky flavor? I can't taste it. I know I put a full teaspoon of liquid smoke in here. Maybe I need to put more, or maybe my system is immune to it. I don't taste it. Are the ribs tender? Yes. Do they taste good? Yes. Do they have that smoky, kind of cooked 3 hours over real charcoal wood kind of taste? No. But you know what? I cooked these in 23 minutes and let them sit for 15 and then a quick trip in the oven. Wow. They are good. I mean, I'm sure no one will complain if you make these ribs. They're delicious. I'm actually surprised. You know, normally I would cook them if I'm looking for an alternative. I'm stuck inside. I'd put them in the slow cooker with a little water or beer and let them simmer all day and get tender. But they usually fall apart. These, I mean, they're almost there. You know, maybe next time I'll try 20 minutes. You know, because they're definitely cooked. And I'm sure in that pressure cooker, the heat gets up there enough that the meat's cooked. You don't have to worry about it. These are really good. And look, what you need, some seasoning, the ribs, some barbecue sauce, and some liquid. Pick apple juice, water, whatever. Wow. Alright guys, if you have an Instapot sitting in your kitchen, you never used it, you want to try something simple, easy, give this a shot. I am really impressed. And now I got ribs for tonight and for tomorrow. Eating like a king. It didn't take a lot of work. You saw it. As always, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. And I'll leave a link above to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again. I know you want some, Dixie. Give me a... Let me finish this. I'll give you dinner, okay? Dixie's got to try some tonight, too.